Welcome to the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. I'm a former brick and mortar store owner turned retail expert who is passionate about entrepreneurship and has experienced the highs and lows of running a retail business. Whether you're a seasoned retail veteran or an aspiring store owner, consider me your guide on this store owning journey. If you're looking to run a profitable and growing business that doesn't drain you, follow my 6 stages of shopkeeping and subscribe to this show. Join me for a journey of continuous learning where protecting your mind, maximizing profit, and determining your own schedule are a priority. Get ready to work smarter, profit more, and grow your retail business. Welcome to episode 228 of the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. Planner problem solved. Discover the real culprit behind your planning struggles. I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. Planning ahead can be a big struggle for store owners. And I want to acknowledge, even as the designer and seller of really helpful planning tools for store owners, that if you struggle with planning ahead, of course you're going to struggle with using a planner. When I started my entrepreneurial journey, I bought planners I never used. My husband bought me the prettiest planner, and I never used that either. I think I joked around about that one time, and I thought, I hope he doesn't hear that podcast episode. You see, I was drowning in time mismanagement. I was overworking, and there were plenty of inefficiencies involved in my life. I took a leap of faith into this business owner journey because I wanted freedom and flexibility. However, I quickly learned that I had the old habits of working in a blue-collar career that rewarded me for overtime. It rewarded me for working more, sometimes 80 hours a week. And I think sometimes, man, I don't miss those days. I also realized while I was on this journey, and this is an emphasis on that I was the only person who could break those habits that were no longer serving me. I had to learn how to manage my own time. And I feel like I want to say that. I put it in my notes here in bold because I really had to learn how to manage my own time. You see, my career, along with some programmed thinking, and if you've been listening to this podcast episode for a while, you know a lot of these stories that I've shared. But combine those two, that former career and some of the programmed thinking that I had from generations and for decades in my brain, those were the things that were managing my time, not me. And that was 20, 30 plus years. That's decades worth of a habit I didn't truly have ownership of. But I knew I wanted that to change. I had really big goals that I wanted to hit, especially running 2 businesses, now 1 business. But I wanted to hit those goals from a place of joy and happiness with my schedule and self-love and care, where I was doing things that I loved. And that meant, you guessed it, that I needed to become a better planner. I needed a plan. Throughout this episode, I'm going to quote one of my favorite business books, Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you want to grab the book, go to my online bookshop that helps independent retail bookshop owners. Yes, of course, you can buy it on Amazon and probably for slightly cheaper, but my online bookshop serves a mission. It's to keep indie bookshops alive. So you'll find that at bookshop.org/shop/Savvy Shopkeeper. We will, of course, link it in the show notes, so you don't have to write that down. But if you're like, oh, wait a minute, Kathy, I have a pen in my hand, it's bookshop.org/shop/Savvy Shopkeeper. So let's start off with quote number 1. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. I'm going to reference this book a lot in this episode. And I realized recently why this book resonated so much with me. So a tool like a planner, a paper planner, a digital planner, anything like that, it can and certainly does facilitate the actual process of planning ahead. It's a space to get all the things out of your head, to lighten the mental load, to create an action plan, to track, to strategize, and really simplify your business. Or at least that's how I've designed the Savvy Shopkeeper tools. But there are 4 laws of habits, which leads me to quote number 2, the 4 laws of habits. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. The Savvy Shopkeeper Planner or planning workbook, which we're going to talk about in a second, and for you paper people, you're going to want to keep listening, it does 3 of these things for you. We made it attractive, it's pretty, and it's visually appealing. We make it easy. It has so many helpful features all in one place. We think we make it satisfying because as you start to use it, you'll see how satisfying it is to see results and to see that you're working ahead. It really does calm your brain, but it's up to you to make it obvious. And what do I mean by that? That means building the habit of planning regularly. So yes, for some of you that will mean adding a reminder to your phones or adding a planning session to your Google Calendar so it becomes obvious to your brain that it's just time to go into your planner. On the first of the month, maybe at the beginning of every quarter, or whenever you think the frequency will serve you. I know digital planner users from the past 2 years. They open up their planner every single day. They have built that habit. Maybe it means you're going to leave it on your coffee table so it's obvious to work on it in the mornings when you wake up and you're having that cup of coffee. Maybe it means you're scheduling a monthly session with a biz bestie so you work on it together and hold each other accountable. When you start building this new habit, you'll commit even more. Maybe it goes from monthly to weekly, and then, like I mentioned, you'll get to the point where it's daily use. So I recently told a one-on-one client the story when I read Atomic Habits. I really wanted to get back into getting physical, and in particular, getting outside and walking a lot. I know it's very good for my mental health and for my thinking and for my brain and my creativity. So when I read the book, I wasn't walking. I wasn't jogging, which is what I really wanted to do, but that's a different subject. I was like, okay, maybe I can just start walking. So what I did was I put my sneakers, my running shoes, by the TV in the mornings because I always have a cup of coffee and I watch the morning news. And I was like, if I see them there. And then my next step, I realized I was making excuses where I was like, well, the boys are sleeping upstairs and I don't want to wake them up. So I'm not going to change into my walking clothes. So then I decided I would bring all of the clothes downstairs to a guest bedroom and I put it all down there. And then the next excuse was, I don't have a band to put in my hair to put my hair up in a ponytail. This is how ridiculous our brains get. So then I brought this little dish that a good friend of mine handmade. I put it on the dresser in the guest bedroom and I put hair bands in there. So for me, it was creating all of these little steps that would make it obvious for me that I was prepared to go and that there weren't any other excuses. So that's a really good example when you're thinking, okay, Kathy, what do you mean by make it obvious? This episode is brought to you by the Savvy Shopkeeper Quiz. After years of research and learning from thousands of retailers, I determined there are 6 stages of shopkeeping. But what's more important is knowing the action steps store owners can take during each stage. These steps can help you focus, create efficiency, and improve profitability so you can grow. Take the quiz to find out which shopkeeper stage you're in. Plus, you'll get a helpful and customized list of podcast episodes and 2 free resources specifically for the stage you're in now. I reference the stages often in podcast episodes and when I teach online, so it's helpful to know which stage you're in. Visit savvyshopkeeper.com/quiz to take the quiz. The second you make a mindset shift to becoming or to being committed to yourself is when a planner feels magical. And that leads me to quote number 3. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Now, I personally had to build many new habits when I made the switch from my former career to owning 2 businesses. I had to teach myself this skill, the skill of making the habit obvious. But I did teach myself. I did build the habits. It's not impossible. I was so committed to becoming the future version of myself that I could see it in the distance. And that leads me to quote number 4. Every action you take is a vote for the person you wish to become. When I realized there was no magic pill, but that there are great tools to help facilitate my goal setting, this is when things started to change for me. When I realized that I could become a planner, and a really good one at that, because I could see the future version ahead of me, and that was who I wanted to become. And I decided to vote for myself. I decided to go ahead and create those habits and make these things obvious so that I wasn't neglecting who it is that I wanted to be. And that leads me to quote number 5. Success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. I got very real with myself. I told myself the habits started with me, and I started working on myself and my new habits, so the tools I purchased didn't become wasteful. They became useful. So yes, I know you hear it in the back of your mind. You Swifties know what I'm about to quote. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Now, we never want to hear this. We want to blame it on something else, or we want to blame it on someone else. And I know this. I know this really, really well. I call it the blame game. I was really good at it. So listen, as I prepare to launch the next Savvy Shopkeeper Planner, that is happening right now, today, I genuinely want you to buy a tool that you're ready for. I don't want you to think that this tool is the magic pill. I will not say that. I'll never say that. I mean, it is pretty incredible, and we put a lot of effort into it. But remember, it checks off 3 of the 4 boxes. The 4th box is you. If you're ready to commit, if you're ready to build a new habit for yourself, if you now understand what the roadblock is, or if you already love and use the planner and you can't wait for the next one, I'm really happy to say that it's available now, and I hope you consider buying it. So you'll go to savvyshopkeeper.com/planner, and some of you I know are immediately going to go there and buy it. I know you love it. I know you appreciate it. I could fill this podcast episode with testimonials. So go ahead and grab it. But let me say this. This year, I'm even happier to announce that we're offering 2 versions of the Savvy Shopkeeper business tool. Yes, all of you paper lovers, a paper version is here. And I want to put an emphasis on the word version. The paper version is a slimmed down version of the planner, and we're calling it a planning workbook. It doesn't include the full collection of worksheets or all of the cool things that you can do with digital planning, because there are lots of incredible things that you can do in GoodNotes, for example, if you're using the digital planner with GoodNotes. Nor does it include the daily or weekly calendars. And of course, if you buy the extra bundle of digital stickers, you can't use digital stickers with it. So while the full digital planner is about, I think it's 650 some pages long, the planning workbook is about 150 pages. The paper workbook will get mailed to you within a few days. I think I got mine in 2 or 3 days, faster than I expected. And if you buy the digital version, you'll get that delivered to your inbox immediately, your email inbox. I would say 95% of my digital planner users use it with an iPad, an Apple Pencil, and the GoodNotes app, in case you're wondering. In case you're new here and you haven't heard me talk about the planner that we offered for the past 2 years was digital only, and you have to use it with a tablet and a digital pencil. So I just want to make sure that I mention most of the people that I know that use it, it's an iPad, an Apple Pencil, and the GoodNotes app. And in terms of the paper workbook, the one that's actually printed and physical and that you can hold, I have a couple things to say about that. Because this year has been so busy for me, I decided to go ahead and use Amazon KDP to fulfill this for the sake of efficiency. We might change that in the future. So if you go to buy that, you'll see that you'll go to Amazon to buy it. But please know that is a business tool that we're offering. We just needed a place to have it fulfilled, and that's what we chose to do, again, for the sake of simplicity and efficiency. But the one thing that I really want to say about this planning workbook, and I'm staring at it, I'm staring at the proof that I ordered. When I decided to try this and I talked to my team about it, I was not excited about it. And I was like, I just don't know if I'm going to love it. But I have to say, I love it. I do. I love it way more than I thought I would. So I genuinely hope, if you've been disappointed that we haven't offered some type of paper planning tool, I hope you're excited about it now. Is it the full planner? No, absolutely not, because printing almost 700 pages on paper, it would be cost prohibitive. But like I said, I'm really excited about the paper version. I'm excited about both. Something else I want to add to this is that we know inflation this year has affected all of us. So, all of us as consumers too, not just as business owners. So the price didn't go up on the digital planner. In fact, we're so committed to making this tool attainable for store owners that we lowered the price. And we have early bird pricing. So it's even lower for a short period of time. So the time to buy is now. Can you buy it throughout the rest of this year? Yes. And the cart will close at the end of December for sure. Early bird pricing will run from today, the date that this podcast episode publishes on August 15th, 2024, until August 22nd, 2024 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So normally a lot of people will open and close a cart within 3 to 5 days, but I know how busy store owners are, and I know some of you don't listen to podcast episodes or aren't caught up in emails within 2 or 3 days. So we decided to do this early bird cart for 7 days. The full digital planner is available for that short time for early bird pricing for $77, and it will go up to $97 for regular price. And the printed planning workbook is available for the same short time for the early bird price for $47, and the regular price will be $67. One last thing. We're also shifting to a calendar year, and I'm also really excited about this. So not only did we lower the price, but this year's version is a 15-month tool. This applies to both the printed workbook and the full digital planner. So these tools start October 1st this year, 2024, and will run until December 31st, 2025. So you get 15 months of planning in this tool. And we did that because we want to shift to a calendar year. So this means the 2026 planner will be a regular calendar year running from January to December 2026. Okay, it is time to wrap this up. I hope you hear how excited I am. I'm excited about both. I'm excited about the digital planner and the paper version. So I have 3 recommendations for you if you want to plan ahead for your business and get really good at it. Number 1, buy the planner now. Visit savvyshopkeeper.com/planner. On that page, you're going to see a side-by-side comparison because it's hard for me to cover that in a 20-minute podcast episode. You will see a side-by-side comparison of the 2 planning tools so that you can visually see what's included in one versus the other. And that way you can decide which one is best for you before you buy. Number 2 is maybe you want to start off by building better habits. If you know the roadblock is you and building the habit of planning needs to come first, then buy Atomic Habits by James Clear. We will have it linked in the show notes so that you can buy it from our bookshop, online bookshop, so that you can support other independent retail store owners. Also, I want to add that I don't normally listen to books on audio, but I did listen to this one, and it was impactful. The author was really nice and easy to listen to. And then number 3 is maybe you'll do both. Buy now and build better habits. So buy the book, Atomic Habits, and grab the early bird offer on the planner or workbook. Do both. Maybe you're like, okay, Kathy, I am committing. I am deciding to do this. Go all in on yourself. Let this be the year that you stop procrastinating, stop scrambling, stop doing everything at the last minute, stop losing out on revenue and profit, and stop hustling. Well, hustling is good sometimes, but not all the time. We, meaning 3 team members of mine plus me, that's 4 of us that are really involved in these planning tools. We spend countless hours making decisions about this planner every year, designing it, working on all aspects of it, improving the worksheets, listening to the feedback, because we genuinely want to make a helpful tool specifically for retail store owners and all types of store owners at that, not just apparel stores or gift shops or some of the more common types of retail stores. Trust me, I researched for years, and most, probably nearly all planners out there are not designed for brick and mortar retailers. This year's design, at least the cover, I should say, was inspired by so many of you who always tell me you want to do big things. Now you do your end, commit to yourself, and build the habit of planning, and we'll commit to you by providing you with an incredibly helpful and thoughtfully laid out tool specifically designed for your type of business. Now go do big things. Visit savvyshopkeeper.com/planner to buy and get the early bird pricing before it ends on August 22nd, 2024 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you found this podcast helpful, if you have a friend who struggles with planning ahead and she has a store, if you have a friend who would really benefit from either one of these planning tools, please share this podcast episode with them. I would really appreciate it. If you want to see the show notes to this episode or find links to anything I mentioned, you can visit our blog at savvyshopkeeper.com/episode 228. Until the next episode, be savvy and boss up.